Hey everyone, HK Sniper here, and this is a video I've been wanting to do on reenacting. It's been requested, it's been suggested by some of the individuals in my unit, and basically it's a real quick getting started guide to reenacting and just pretty much information that you need to know before you make the decision in getting involved in the hobby. So number one, the biggest thing that really needs to be put out there, it really doesn't matter what time period you do. Some time periods this is more than others, but it's not cheap. Reenacting is not a cheap hobby, and the cost really depends on your impression, the quality of reproduction gear that you get, whether or not you're using original stuff, and which nation you're representing. The United States and German, at least here in the US, they're the two most common, and they are the two most expensive. They're pretty much on par right now. The uniforms for US is cheaper, but the weapons are more expensive. The German uniforms are more expensive, and the weapons are cheaper. Now that depends. If you're getting a G43, yeah, you're going to be putting out a little more money, but this is we're discussing your basic first impression. You shouldn't be entering a hobby running around with an MP40 or something. Commonwealth is going to be right around in the middle, and Russian is by far the cheapest. The reproduction stuff is out there, the original stuff is out there, and it's pretty cheap and easy to obtain. Number two I like to put in here is it is physically demanding. Remember, you're wearing, especially as German, you're wearing a wool uniform. The gear weighs quite a bit. You're going to be running around with at least 50, maybe, it depends on what type of impression you're doing, at least 50 to 60 pounds of gear on you. And most of events are in the summer, and they're in the heat. Those of you who were at D-Day, Ohio this year, you know what I'm talking about with the heat. The heat and humidity was terrible. And it definitely exposed who was used to the heat and who was drinking water or not. It definitely put a beating on everyone. I don't think there was a single person there that didn't have to sit down and take a break. The battles require a lot of movement and realism, so you're going to be moving a lot. You're going to be running around. You're going to be doing tactical maneuvers, so it involves a whole lot of movement. And let's go back on the last two. In the summer, in the heat, wearing a bunch of gear and equipment. Events can last for hours, or they can also last for days. It depends on the event, and oftentimes you're going to be in field and camp-like conditions. So definitely look into that. And kind of the biggest thing on all this topic, especially with the heat and physically demanding activity, I cannot stress this enough. Hydrate. Take water with you. Germans, this is a little known secret. I know it's Farby, but I would rather have some Farby, hidden Farb, I'm going to call it, hidden Farb that is for your benefit, and that is carrying a bottle of water inside of your gas mask can. You can carry more water than that canteen can. So carry water. Drink water whenever you can. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Number three I got on here, be prepared to travel. Not very many events are centralized in one location unless you're lucky. If you happen to be in one of these areas where you're in between the events, props on you, man, because you're going to be saving on gas money for sure. Major events are in many different locations. They can be across country, and they can be in different parts of the region. And definitely consider carpooling. Get in real good with those in your unit. Figure out kind of if anyone lives along your route and carpool. Split the gas money, and it works a lot better. I do that quite a bit. It's also good just to have someone to talk to on the way to an event, if that. Just splitting the cost of gas is good enough, but at least you got someone there with you too on the way out there. Number four, entering the hobby with an all-in attitude and an all-out effort. Never stop learning, ever. Always soak in information. Never become stubborn to potential new facts or information. Interact in a positive manner with other units, even if there have been past issues. Alright, when you're at an event, who cares about so and so did this and that 5 years ago? You're there to do something. Definitely learn to work together. Strive to not only learn but to teach and improve your fellow reenactors. It's huge. Um, you should always look to the more veteran reenactors for information. And if you see something that's not quite right, or if you learn something new, tell everyone. Everyone can be a teacher in this hobby. Um, do not take constructive criticism personal, but be cautious of the source and research anything you are told. And I don't care if it's someone that you've known for years. Research what you are told. Look into that. Verify it, because sometimes stuff can be misrepresented, can be misread, mistranslated. Look into that information that you're told. Never stop improving. Anyone can lead by an example. So always strive to improve your impression, and always strive to lead your unit by example, and to make your unit look good and to represent the hobby good. Number 5, and this is going to be the last one of this little quick 5 series, is be prepared for public interaction. You will receive questions that you deem as stupid or silly. It happens. It's repetitive, and it's going to happen often. Get used to it, and just treat every interaction as a new one. Just go from there with that. Treat everyone the same regardless of the repetitive of questions. Just like what I just said with that. Treat every interaction like a new one, even if the question was asked, just before with the other group. Strive to teach the truth on a neutral footing. Do not sympathize or attempt to rewrite history based on your opinions. That is a major thing. We're here to teach history. We're not here to push our opinions or sympathize with anything or rewrite history. We're there to push out the facts and express the facts. Keep everything non-political, including modern politics. Now, this is something that's very common. A lot of individuals see reenactors as a safe space to come discuss how much they dislike the current president, or they dislike their sheriff or whatever coming over and threatening to take guns away or whatever. Avoid it. We're here to talk about the time period that you represent, the conflict that you represent, the equipment and uniforms that you're wearing and carrying. We're not here to talk about politics. And definitely, there's certain political themes of certain time periods that can be extremely controversial of nature, and it's best to avoid discussing it because that's how you can get yourself in a bind pretty quick. Just look what BBC has done, and recently Vice did something where they're recording what people are saying and stuff, and you can get yourself in a bind real quick by saying something stupid. So just stay off the political topic. Be wary of baiting and how to avoid it. This really goes back on what I just said with the 2 news agencies. Be wary of that. People are going to ask you loaded questions, especially if you're doing German and Soviet, and they're going to try to bait you. They're going to try to get you to say something, and they're going to try to twist those words around. Just be alert for that. It's not common, but it has happened to me. I've had people try to bait conversations in a certain direction. Do not fall for it. You're there to discuss the facts, and that's the biggest thing you remember. You're here to discuss the facts. Big thing right here is once you start reenacting, you have signed up to become an educator of history. And no matter how you see this hobby, if you attend a public event, know your facts. If you do not know, point them to someone who does. Do not make up anything. Reenactors are a wealth of information on specific topics. Some people are kind of a jack of all trades, but a lot of people, they kind of like to pick a certain thing and they stick with it. So don't make something up if you don't know the answer. Get to know your guys in your unit. Get to know what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are when it comes to what they know. And someone comes up and they ask you, like for example, we represent a pioneer unit. someone were to come up to me and ask me about some of the detonators, I probably wouldn't have a clue. But there is a guy in our unit that that's all he studies. He is huge into the detonators and the explosives, and just pointing them out to him would be of great benefit to them, and he could tell them everything about it. So know the strengths and weaknesses of the knowledge in your unit, and point those people out in the right direction. So that's a quick Rule 5 step kind of ordeal. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. A lot of the guys in my unit do frequent my page and my channel, so if I can't answer it, they probably will beat me to it, and they'll help you out the best you can, and we'll just see how it goes from there. And if you have any other topics or anything you want to be brought up, even in the reenactor rants, feel free to throw some suggestions at me, and we'll see what we can come up with. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.